Welcome back to Misfit Peacock Radio Theater, a lighthouse at the end of the world.
Last time we left you on a bit of a cliffhanger. Simon was trapped in the bowels of the Olympia, his only hope of escape MIA.
And Maura, in her rush to save Simon from an untimely demise, was ambushed by the infamous Kira.
Will our heroes be reunited at last?
Find out in this episode of The Fleet. Earth, home to humanity for millennia, now uninhabitable. Humanity has taken to the stars in massive spaceships known as starliners. Now we wander through space in search of a new home. Until such time, we will only know of life in the fleet.
I thought for sure I was about to be space dust. 3, 2, 1, hello, endless void of nothing. When the countdown suddenly stopped and I realized it wasn't game over, I started sobbing. I felt this complete release of tension as the fear of death faded away. That didn't last long, though, because I remembered that Kira was still out there with Maura. I did my best to warn her, but Kira was too fast. I heard a muffled grunt over the radio and I was right back to desperate terror. Then a gentle knock came from the window, and I looked up to see Maura waving at me.
Simon.
Maura! I thought Kira got you.
He did. Gave me a nasty blow to the head.
I'm glad you're alive. You have no idea how good it is to see a familiar face.
I'm going to get you out.
What?
I'm going to... Hang on. What is your command? Open residential airlock 7-B starboard. What is your command? It isn't working. Maybe because the power has been shut off? I'm going to try and get the power back on.
Wait, where are you going?
That should be better. Follow my voice to the intercom.
I can hear you loud and clear, Captain.
None of that military stuff. We've both left that behind.
Sorry, old habits. What now?
Now we get the store open. It'll be easy once I get power to it again.
Can't you just use whatever shut it down?
I tried. It uses radio waves to communicate, and I think I cut power from the radio controls. I'm finding you have to be very specific with what you want from it.
What is it?
I have no idea. I found it in a security captain's office. I assumed it was a broken radio.
That's not what it is?
No. It's a frequency program, but not like any I've seen. It opened a password-protected door with a verbal command.
No code or anything?
No code. That's not even the most amazing thing. I was on the run from security and I was going to miss the lift, so I tried using the thing to stop it and it worked.
What?
I gave a command to stop the central power lift and the whole thing came to a screeching stop.
And that's why security was after you?
No, they were after me for impersonating an ambassador.
What? Can you back up? Maybe start from the beginning.
I suppose. It'll take some time for me to get the power back on.
Anything I can do on this side?
Yes, but I'll let you know when.
So, you were arrested?
I was arrested. I snuck on board and tried to gate-crash a party to talk to the Olympia's ambassador.
You?
Yes, me. Don't sound so surprised.
Sorry, it's just hard to picture the soft-spoken radio tech I knew acting like a spy.
Well, people change.
Yeah, so it seems. How'd you get caught?
Head of security caught me. Don't know how. Maybe I just wasn't as convincing as I thought. He arrested me, accused me of hijacking, then...
He what?
Yeah, I know.
That's insane.
He suggested you might be in on it too.
Why would he think that?
No idea. I didn't even know you were on board until he brought it up.
I talked to someone from security. That must be how he knew I was on board.
Why were you talking to security?
It's my first day of a new job. I'm a sergeant courier now.
Is this a typical first day for a courier?
I hope not. It started out normal enough. I tracked down a lost package, then someone hunted me down to try and force me to open it.
I'm sorry, Simon. That sounds terrifying.
Clearly they decided I am redundant. I'm glad he didn't get you. He must not have known you have that frequency program. Otherwise we'd both be void-bound. Now we can both get out of here, together.
Yeah, once we get your package back.
You're not thinking about going after Kira, are you?
I know I'm going after Kira.
Maura, we can't. I don't know who he is or where he came from, but we can't handle him ourselves.
Think about it, Simon. This thing can control the Olympia like a genie in a bottle. I found it in the office of a security captain. It can't be a coincidence that my frequency program and that package were on the same ship. We can't let anyone else get their hands on it.
In that case, let's go to Overfleet. They can...
No! You know as well as I do that the moment they get even a hint of mutiny, they'll open fire on the Olympia, no questions asked. I'm not letting that happen again.
Is that what this is about? Maura, I know it was hard to...
Don't say that to me. Don't tell me you know it was hard. You don't get to tell me what it was like to watch my home be ripped to shreds and picked clean by vultures. You don't get to tell me what it was like to see my family's faces as they watched their whole world disappear.
Maura,
Quiet. You want to know what makes people change? What made me the kind of person who risks so much? Desperation. The desperation of a million people who have nothing. I won't let anyone else know what that's like. You can get yourself out, Simon.
Maura, wait.
I wasn't actually going to abandon him, but I was so angry. I think I wanted him to feel a little of the hopelessness I was feeling. I'd come so far to save him, and the whole time I was in this desperate focus. I needed to save Simon, just to prove to myself that I could. When I did it, when I heard his voice come over the radio for the first time in a very long time, that hopeless feeling went away. I felt confident. Even when I was knocked unconscious, I got up and felt like everything was going to be okay. And then Simon said he wanted to go to the authorities, and I was right back to being insignificant. So yeah, I wanted him to feel a little bit of that insignificance too. Just for a few moments. Then I went back and let him out.
Maura, please come back. You're so much faster at this sort of stuff than I am. It'll take me hours to...
How much faster?
I never met a better radio tech than you. I'm sorry. I didn't think about what going to Overfleet would mean to you. I'm just scared.
I suppose that's understandable, given your recent brush with death. You get that panel open?
Yeah.
Flip the first breaker for me.
Okay, done.
So you really think Kira is the guy who attacked us?
I do. But I don't think he's a surgeon.
What makes you say that?
Did you see him? Before he knocked you out?
No. He snuck up behind me. Did you get a good look at his face?
I did.
Anyone we know?
No? At least I don't think so.
What do you mean?
It was hard to tell. He was missing most of his face.
What?
Everything below the bridge of his nose was gone. Replaced by a bunch of tubes and tech I didn't recognize. It was the same for his chest. No rib cage that I could see, or whatever else should have been there. But he had some sort of man-made system instead.
How's that possible?
No idea. He's why I'm so scared, Maura. Why I know we are so far in over our heads we haven't even realized we're drowning. I don't know what he wants, where he came from, or what he is. I just know that when I looked in his eyes, all I saw was apathy and murder.
If you don't want to help me, then that's fine. I'm not asking you. All I'm asking is that you don't go straight to Overfleet once I get you out. Give me time to try and fix things here. Give me 6 hours.
Please stand back. Airlock is opening. Even the musty air down here is refreshing after being stuck in there. Thank you.
6 hours?
6 hours plus however long it takes to get my shuttle back from security. Stepping out of that airlock was like waking up. I'd been trapped in fight or flight mode since I set foot on the Olympia. I hadn't had time to process any of the events from the past few hours. As we walked back toward the central lift, that fog of fear started to pass, and my brain started working again. Details started to nag at me, but I pushed them aside. I didn't want to understand what was going on. I just wanted to get out of there alive. Then Maura started talking about how amazing it was to be in the bowels of the Olympia, and an old part of myself started to work again. It was the part of me that used to enjoy sitting with Maura and raving about whatever amazing starliner we just visited. It was a part of me that had been dormant since Maura left my team. I tried to ignore it, to focus on getting out alive. But the more I talked with Maura, the harder it was to ignore. I'm still not over the gold plating. It was beautiful, like standing face to face with a star.
I'm jealous. I didn't get to see it. I was hiding in a cargo crate. I got to see the bridge, though. I stood right outside the pilot's cabin.
Did you get to meet him?
No, he wasn't at the party. It would have been nice to... Never mind.
What?
No, you'll make fun of me.
You're not one of those pilot nuts, are you?
I'm not nuts. I'm not one of the ones standing around shouting at people.
It's a slippery slope. One day you say a small prayer to yourself, and the next you're praying over your oxygen filter, asking the great and powerful pilot to extend its life for another day.
It's nothing like that, really. After the Verona was decommissioned, I spent a lot of time with my grandmother, and she'd always ask me to pray with her. I refused for a long time, but one night I gave it a try because, well, she always looked so peaceful when she did it. I found it to be quite comforting, so I kept doing it.
Fair enough. How is Nona Salvi?
She's good, actually. We managed to get her a permanent place aboard the Manama. I had to forge a couple of signatures to get her there, but it was worth it. She has this group of friends who get together every month to cook and brag about their grandkids.
Good for Nona Salvi. And good for you. The Maura I knew working for Overfleet would never stow away or forge signatures. Or pray. You're like something out of those old Star comics.
Thanks. I'm not really sure how to respond to that. What about you? What have you been up to since I left?
I stuck around for a bit, but after the Verona... Well, I saw how little everyone actually cared about preserving our starliners. So I left. Tried to find something a little more fulfilling than Overfleet supply logistics. But couldn't find anything I'm qualified for, and I'm not desperate enough to join the Terranauts. So I came back to Overfleet. I think being a courier will keep me pleasantly busy. It's got good retirement benefits, too.
Is that it?
I'm sorry, we can't all become super spies like you.
No, I mean, sorry. I meant, well, you always talked about raising sheep. I figured you'd have given that a shot.
Oh, I did. It didn't work out. It turns out if you want to work for the only producers of non-synthetic wool in all of the fleet, then you need a lot more than a diploma from Overfleet Training Academy and a few years organizing logistics. You have to apply to their apprenticeship program, and to do that, you need a high school diploma.
Oh.
It isn't a big deal. I just didn't think I could handle going back to finish. Not this late in the game anyways. It's alright, though. What about you? Did you ever try to get into the Pilot's Academy?
Yeah, but I didn't get far. I failed the aptitude test, and there are no second tries if that thing deems you incompatible.
Sorry to hear that.
So was I.
West Chicago Avenue.
What is it?
This is the house Kira brought me to.
Oh. Looks like a dump.
Exactly. Just like all the others.
So?
So why this dump?
It's well secluded?
So is everywhere else on this level. It's just been nagging me. Why this one?
Maybe he tried the others and couldn't get in?
It's possible.
Maybe this deck still has security in place.
If that's the case, he would want a house that wouldn't set off any alarms.
Don't people still own these? Could he have bought one?
That's it.
You think he bought this house?
No, he doesn't have a face. I don't think he could have made anyone an offer. But people do still own these. They were sold like plots of land instead of assigned like compartments are now. Someone owns this house. They had to give him access. They can lead us to Kira, and we can get the package back.
Then we better start searching. You're still leaving?
I'm sorry, Maura, but I just keep hearing that breathing in my head. Every time I do, I'm right back in that airlock. About to die.
It's okay. I understand. Stay safe, Simon.
You too.
Simon?
Yeah?
Can you check on my Nona when you get out of here? I haven't had the chance to call.
Of course.
I was sad to see him go. Talking with Simon brought back memories of simpler times. Plus, it'd been a long time since I just hung out with a friend. I don't know that walking around a derelict part of a Starliner exactly counts as hanging out, but it felt familiar enough. I don't have anyone else to nerd out about Starliners with. I watched him go, only sort of hoping he'd suddenly turn around and come back. Then I went into the house. It was weird, nothing like I expected. The layout is what bothered me, so much space, and it was used so inefficiently. Compartments might be a little cramped, but all the storage makes things pretty convenient. I couldn't make heads or tails of how that house was organized. Eventually, I found what looked like an office, and decided to start looking there for clues. As I looked, I was surprised to hear someone come sprinting into the house. Did they still have paper when people were living here? No, it'd be dust by now. There's got to be something on vinyl, maybe even digital.
Maura?
In here, Simon. What are you doing back here?
You,
If you're here for me, then...
No, not like that. The lift was taking forever to reach this deck, and it got me a lot of time to think. You brought up the sheep. I hadn't thought about that dream in a long time. I'd forgotten about why I wanted to do that, and you reminded me.
I thought you just liked sheep.
I do, but I became interested in them when I learned why there are so few. When humanity originally left Earth, there was a whole Starliner full of them, but eventually that Starliner was decommissioned. By that time, synthetic fibers were preferred, so the sheep were going to be left aboard their ship as it was destroyed.
That's awful.
It is. But one man, Lao Hai, snuck aboard, stole a herd of sheep, and got away just before the Starliner was destroyed. He couldn't save them all, but he saved just enough to keep the sheep from going extinct.
That's amazing.
Remembering that reminded me how much I used to care about the preservation of our homes. It reminded me how much I wished I still cared. I want to help make sure the Olympia survives.
Then we better figure out who owns this place.
I'll check over here. I think I found something.
Is that paper?
I know. I can't believe it either.
What's it say?
It's a page from someone's journal. The only name I can read on it is Sykes.
Like Captain Andrew Sykes?
That's who I spoke to when I got to the Olympia. It doesn't help us find Kira, though. If we go to Andrew now, he'll just arrest us on the spot.
Yeah. You said they'd need to find the recipient in order to get the package open.
That'd be the only way without damaging it.
Then maybe all we need to do is find the recipient before Kira and Andrew.
Easier said than done. We'd need to get back to the courier dispatch and get more information on where the package was headed and who was carrying it. Security will still be looking for us, so it will be hard to move around.
They'll just be looking for me. If we're right and Kira is working with Andrew, then he's gone back to Andrew and told them that you're dead and I'm lost somewhere on the bottom deck.
Good point. So I can go to courier dispatch and figure out who the recipient is. He'll still be looking for you, though. We need to get you off the ship. We can't use my shuttle. If Andrew knows we contacted each other, then he might still have security on it. It won't be worth the risk to try and get to it.
While you're finding the recipient, I'll go find us a way off the Olympia. There's always someone willing to let you stow away for a few credits.
All right. Sounds like we've got a plan.
You might run into Kira again. He'll be looking for the recipient, too.
I know.
We can figure something else out. I can go to courier dispatch.
No, it'll be faster if I go. I'm scared.
I know. So am I.
We better get a move on.
But what about my Nona?
Sorry, but I'm not going to be the one to tell Nona Salvi that her favorite granddaughter has been arrested. I'd rather go out of the airlock.
That's why I was hoping you'd talk to her.
I know. The Fleet is written, produced, and performed by Garrett Whiffen and Madia Medico. Like and subscribe for more. Follow us on Instagram at Misfit Peacock Productions. The Fleet is a podcast distributed by Misfit Peacock Productions and licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 4.0 International License. Man Down and Lone Harvest by Kevin MacLeod. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license. You can find more of Kevin MacLeod's music at incompetech.com. And to whoever needs to hear this, the code word is Mambo.